Let's see. Let's see if we can get the notifications that happen this morning. Let's see if the software will work the way it's supposed to. Spend a lot of money for these social media accounts. Notifications are supposed to work. I see people coming in. Maybe notifications gonna work again today. What the hell? Maybe those billions of dollars are working. Maybe. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Lori. I see Brother Augustine. Bait. Let me see. Share my video. Good morning, everybody. What are we gonna talk about today? I have no idea what we're gonna talk about. I had a disaster this morning. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Rebecca. Hello. Yeah, disasters happen. They happen all the time. I had a fish tank that flowed out on the floor. The pump failed and poured water all over the floor. I'm dealing with that. I gotta go out here and talk about the daggone deep state around the earth killing people. Sometimes I don't even know what to do. Good morning. Who's that? Meg and Michael. Thank you for sharing, Michael. Just saw that. Ivana, you sick girl. You need to get a smoothie, girl. Smoothie. Lots of veggies. Put lots of veggies. Put some fruit in there. Avocado. Don't eat no chicken. Don't eat no eggs. Don't eat no daggone bagels or none of that. Eat healthy. Pump up that immune system. Get some rest. No arguing. No fighting with the husband. No, or the boyfriend. Kids. You need, your immune system needs peace and rest. It's fun life. We need peace and rest. We all need time travel devices on our head. Who is it? This is the lady of Elche. Lady of Elche? Somebody tell me I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sure. Lady of Elche. They found her in Italy. I have no idea what's on her head. I'm sure y'all will tell me though. People send me stuff and I look at it. Someone sent me this a long time ago. I've been meaning to look into her and try to give my perspective so you can have your perspective. Because in case you hadn't figured this out, this is how this works. This is how we save the planet. This is how we save the planet. You start a worldwide discussion. And unfortunately, the only place you can do that is Facebook. We're a circuit board. Everybody's a resistor, transistor, CPU. They've got all this stuff all around, all the tools. Actually, I put in that example though, everybody is a CPU. You got your own RAM memory. You got your own database. You have your experiences in life. You were born a white CPU, black CPU, Asian CPU, Russian CPU. You're just born CPU. And you can stay just a CPU with your own database, or you can get data and connect to all the other CPUs and increase your database. Increase the knowledge of the computer, the whole of the earth, the Gaia. So I look at stuff. That's what I do. I look at stuff. I give my perspective and I shut up and walk away. What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to take the data and go think about it your damn self. That's what you're supposed to do. And then you put your theories and philosophies and whatever. I think that's that. Because when we do this like ancient archaeology stuff, it's important. I believe in cellular memory and I believe in all this past life regression and all the studies that come out where people are doing all of these amazing things to find out things that we don't understand anything. Quantum physics, astral projection, something might trigger in your head because you were born in this country and you saw this and you look at that. I know what that is and this might be that, blah, blah, blah. You know why we got to do this? We got to do it because y'all still voting. No, that's not the only reason. We got to do this because too many people still believe. Too many people still believe. I don't believe anymore. I've completely removed myself from all belief systems. I don't believe anymore. I don't believe your government, definitely not your governments, your politicians, your nations, your money. My goodness, you got the guy in, where was it? Tunisia, Indonesia, same place, because nations don't exist. They don't exist. Figments of your imagination. But set himself on fire. So they're out there protesting the economy. Why would a man rather set himself on fire than live in the world you built? Very important. Yellow vest protest. Exactly. Yellow vest people flipping out around the world. This monetary model does not work. The survival of the fittest system is stupid. This idea that every child is born with a cover charge, how does that make any damn sense? Child didn't ask to be here. You understand what I'm saying? Kids are born and we force them to pay a due. They ain't asked to be here. None of these kids asked to be in your country. They ain't asked to be in your nation. They're here to progress your civilization that's not civil. And they got to pay a cover charge. Not only that, they got to pay a cover charge to be born on your planet. They got to pay regular charges to stay on the damn thing. So anyway, that's why I spit that out. I thought it was stupid. It's like, you know what? Kids are born, and none of these kids asked to be here. And we force them to go out and go to school, get a job, work for the machine, work for the system that we know is all foul, and then pay their dues like everybody else. Why? Because slavery loves company. If we're slaves, damn it, you better be a slave too. I don't care how cute you are, how you play with your lips and drool. I don't care. Anyway, all right, I'm off tangent. Come on, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Brother John. Brother Donnell is in the house. Religion. You have to question it all. Everything, Donnell. Everything, brother. Everything. Every last thing. Question everything and everybody till you're blue in your face. Your CPU is supposed to be constantly. Go through your database. Expand your database. Talk to somebody new. Get some new data. Expand. Share the data. Come back. Share the data. Because, you know, we actually start acting like we're a hive around this planet. Man, just think of the things that are possible, brother. Just think of the things if we actually start working together instead of competing with each other. But I will talk about the, And Anna, are you on it? Did you see the UFO in New York last night? You're not in New York, stop it. Did y'all see the UFO? Y'all see the UFO? Y'all see the UFO? I say it's a UFO because I know what my friends are gonna do. It's gonna be do all day. Do all day. And not doo-doo, but do all day. Did y'all see the lights over New York? What they say it was? Said it was a transformer. I got it queued up. It's funny you mentioned that. I was gonna play it. The lights over New York. Y'all see that? Oh my gosh. Transformer exploding was the was the answer. It could be. I don't know nothing about it. I'm not over there. You know, the only thing I know, it kind of sort of looked like it, but that doesn't look like it's New York. Does it look like it's over the thing? This is what you need, Sister W, somebody do some research and look into pictures. I don't know. I just don't believe anymore. I don't believe nothing. Like I tell Brother Donnell, I don't believe nothing. It's a transformer. No, it ain't. It could be not a not DOO, but DEW, direct energy weapon. They could be trying to reclaim land in New York. You know, they did that before. Did it on what's on the lady Elsie's head. That might be what's on her head. All right, I don't want to go there. I'm sorry. I saw it. I know I'm gonna see UFO stuff all day. I got some of the strangest friends. Y'all think that I think strange stuff? You ain't met my friends. Yeah, you don't see what they post. How's everybody doing this morning? So it was pretty, but I don't know. But that's actually a good example. It's a good reminder of the apocalypse ain't gonna be no fun for everybody, not in America. Because like I said, World War III, it starts out. You know, the dollar collapse, if any of that stuff happens, the only that's going to happen is a light's going to go out. You're not going to know why. It's not going to be an announcement. Nobody's going to say, hey, this has started. No, the lights are going to go out. Your cell phone won't work. Your lights won't come on your TV. You can't go on the internet. You're going to be like, what the hell is going on? That's why it's important that we stop playing. That's why it's important that we start focusing on big issues. Not little crap, big issues. And the funniest thing is, from the way my mind is working nowadays, the more I look back at ancient history, the more it actually today makes a lot of damn sense. A lot of damn sense. I'm gonna talk about Lady Elchie for a minute. Then we can look at the news. Oh my goodness, a lot of stuff was going on. Come on, brother Kevin and Ingo on YouTube. So this is the Lady Elchie. They found her in Italy. Let me see if I can make my head a little smaller. Y'all can see, I don't see my big head. Her head is bigger. The Lady of Elchie, they say she's an Atlantean. They say that, what is that on her head? What is that on her head? They found this in 1897. What was so important that ancient people, going back that far, would actually carve a stone statue? Yeah, I know, somebody said it looks like Princess Leia. You know, it's funny. It could be. So that, like, the theory is it's hair. And the way my head works, I don't think that's hair. Like, look at the insides. Like, look all up in here. See, That's not hair. To me, when I look at that, I see technology. I see bracing. I see grid. I see framework. I wonder. And if you're new to how we talk about stuff over here, look back at history, right? I don't think Hitler was stupid. Hitler didn't take weapons and tanks and military during a world war where he's trying to take over the whole damn planet and allocate resources to go around and find ancient technology. He didn't do it because he was stupid. He did it because he knew something and he saw something and he found something. The hell is that? So I think about, like, we were looking at the book of Thoth the other day, looking at some of the stories of Atlantis from Plato, that they had high technology, that they're always telling us that no, they didn't. You know, the government's always saying, no, they didn't have anything. They were just dumb monkeys and grass skirts with picks and stone axes killing each other. But we came from great people. And those people try to tell us in every way possible. They etched it in stone, they wrote it on paper, put it on papyrus, made big pyramids and sphinxes and things that we have no idea who did, when they did them, or even how they did them. None of the theories panned out. So we don't know a damn thing. But we do know that there is technology all over this planet. All over this planet. To me, when I look at this, this is what I think. Could it be a stylish thing? Would women wear that on their heads? Would you? Would you? Let me show you something. I was thinking, you know what? Would a woman look fine? Would she look fine with her hair in that style? I personally don't think so. I think Princess Leia was cute because Princess Leia is cute. I don't think the hair was a benefit. But here was a test. This is what I found online. Look at this picture. Pretty woman, rotating grid, gold shiny metal thing on her head. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, I don't know fashion. I'm no fashion guy. I just look at it and I think that, you know what? Women would not wear that today. I can't ever see them wearing that. If I saw them wearing it on the street and they wanted to date or something, we're not going on a date. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I think it's technology. I think it's technology. I don't know what it is. I think that they look for it. I think that's probably why they lie about archaeology. I think it gives into the hints of what Plato said, what Thoth said in terms of high technology coming out of Atlantis. It's in the right area. It's Italy. Atlantis was found in North Africa. So it makes sense to me that that's some sort of a device. What does it do? Does it allow you to, does it enhance your thought? That's what I think. Because personally, I think that we're evolving this uncivilization path using technology this time around. Before that, we didn't use technology. I think they used thought. I think they used consciousness. I think they used what they had at the time. They didn't have circuit boards and they didn't have a Nikola Tesla. So things didn't go the route of electricity. They went the route of thought. And so it makes sense to me that you got these big things that aren't hanging from her ears. Let me get rid of this lady. They're not hanging from her ears. They're actually around her cranium, where we're supposed to have all our neurons and thought comes out. So could it be an enhancement device? Could be. Could it be made of crystals? Could the slot hold crystals? Could these be crystals in the front? Y'all know crystals and stones have power enhancing properties, energy enhancing properties. Look at, gosh, I was looking at a thing from the 50s. They're the crystal technology, quartz crystals, and how we use them in CB radios, and we use them all over the place for enhancing energy. So it could be, maybe this person evolved the ability to do something. By the way, her name was, what was her name? There was another name people attached to her as an Atlantean. They call her the Navigator, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. They found a second one in Italy. I think they call it the Lady of, starts with a G. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think those are flowers. I don't think it's hair. And if we don't know who we are, we don't know where we've come from, we'll never know what our kings and lords are up to, because I think they're always up to something. They're always trying to find something. They're always trying to hide something. And they actually came out, someone came out and said this was a hoax. That's when I get interested. Those are the lies I like. When they start saying, when your government says something that they just have no idea, and well, it wasn't a government person. It was some archaeologist. When people start to say stuff that they couldn't possibly know, couldn't even get close to fathoming, then I know it's interesting. And you look at the evidence. You look at all the compiling evidence that we've come from great people and we don't know how they did the things that they did. That's why colonization is always on my mind, always on my mind. Yeah, the third astral projection, soul and spirit from I've accomplished this twice. All right, Brother Daniel, tell me more about that, because I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm curious and I'm interested, because I finally got to this place where I don't believe anymore. So I can start believing some things that are true and stop believing the things I was born into that somebody handed me, and start questioning things. Like, that's why we have brains, right? That's why we have neurons. We don't have them so we accept things. We have them so we can change our thought processes and realign our neurons in ways that think to become something. You're not born a thing. You're supposed to become a thing. That's why I don't play these race games and these nation games and these little silly group games. To me, it's just it's one big game of who the dumbest monkeys. Who can get the most 98% monkeys together in a group and kill some other monkeys and steal what they got. But I think if we look back at the past and we realize that we've come from something great, that there's something better than this, we can become better, right? Because you know, how's that saying go? When people talk about like the justice system, they'll say, well, this is the best that we've got. This is the best that we can do. When it comes to how the world works and all the violence around the world, well, this is just where we are. And any thought outside of that is unrealistic. To me, it's one of the biggest cop-outs, and it's one of the biggest things that holds back humanity, is the inability to think open-minded, to accept that this is just where we are. This is not where we are. If we know that we came from people who were more peaceful, if we know tribes all over this planet were more peaceful, if we know the aliens on the other continent were more peaceful, they've got a better type of government, their kids aren't as violent or crazy, their people don't feel the need to pick up weapons and arm themselves and protect themselves from their government, then we need to look at that and say, no, this isn't the best that we've got. Somebody had better. And we need to implement the good things from that system, right? If we know technology just isn't it, just electric-based technology and everything, that spirituality, we can do something, that this, what is the drugs they take to make people see colors and stuff, the psychedelics. If there's something there, we know our CIA invested millions of dollars to figure all of that stuff out. We know right now, did y'all see the waste? There was a waste report talking about government waste, the projects there. Then they were giving cocaine to birds to check their mating habits. It was like $170,000 the U.S. government spent to just this year, to study giving cocaine to birds to study their mating habits, right? If we know that there's something better, we should be exploring these things. Like, this is where we need to be investing. This is where, like LSD, somebody said, thank you, Josh. We should be investing in those paths to make something better, better types of government, better types of society that helps kids to be gift-based societies. When we look back and we realize that, man, we didn't come from violent, dumb monkeys that beat each other over the head. And well, we did for a little bit, not a long time, a little bit. We were cavemen for a minute. I'm sure we did have clubs and we used to beat women over the head and drag them home. And we don't do that, not in that way. You know, we now use cars and houses and incomes, bragging, nice shirts and cologne. Always wear too much damn cologne to go out there and nab a woman and drag her home to your family. Y'all still do that. I know, I see them do it all the time. That's why I don't go out. That's why I stay in. I'm an introvert because I think y'all are silly. I don't think you've gone much past that. But back before that, we were something greater, something significantly greater. And if we don't focus on it, we're gonna die this way. Is this the best we ever gonna be? Dangerous times we live in, people. Dangerous times. I'm not laughing about this one thing. Because I'm always trying to see, well, what are the kings not telling me? What are the lords not telling me? Right? America, Britain, France. For the most part, I know America. I don't know so much about Britain and France. I mean, to a degree. Our societies are based in war. We have war societies, right? It drives our GDP. A significant chunk. My big question is, if the wars are dying down, if the wars are fading, if people are seeing the scams and growing up, what's next? Always important to think about what's next. Because if you don't pick what's next as a people, they will pick what's next for you. What's next? If our economy is based on war, they're making robots to war. There are less jobs every day, and there'll be less jobs tomorrow. It doesn't matter what you think. All right, you got one side in my country that's fighting for more jobs that ain't never coming back because the industry I left doesn't give a damn about what you think. They need to make money. Big business will make money. You will be replaced. Every day, more people are replaced by robots. War is on the horizon because it's the only thing that keeps the elite in power. It's the only thing that keeps the lords in power. And power is all they seek. So what's going to be the next war? Next lie coming. It's coming. The next lie on the way. All right, let me see. Who wrote a chapter above the G's right? That's Wanda. It's Sister Wanda. Wanda always got links. She always got details and data. I always look at Wanda links. Wanda links, she always got great, interesting things. She always hurts my head sometimes. I start looking at stuff that she posts. But if we don't control the next, they will. And look at where it's brought us. It's brought us to a place where we have a war of a world, a warring world. And we've got new countries coming online, trying to do better at the war model than we do. Like, you know what is funny? I come on here, I'll be positive about America for like half a second. I'll be positive. You know what I love about this land that I live in? I don't want to say the country. I don't believe in country. You know what I love about being here? I can come on here every day and just talk bad about them. I can talk bad about the mamas and the mamas, and I can talk bad the dumb stuff they do in government, whatever. And nobody comes to kill me. I'm sure there's a plan to give me some Bob Marley foot cancer eventually, but it's not immediate. You ever look at Rwanda? Like, America is 98% full on corrupt, but you got 2%, got some good stuff in there. We had a model that we messed up. Rwanda is 110% corrupt. Right? Remember the Rwanda genocide? French government investigating whether or not they killed, who was the brother they killed? They shot the airplane down to allow another faction to come to power. Was it the Tutsis and the Hutus? And the genocide, 800,000 people died because one man died in the airplane. Like, think about it. We live in an amazing place. Right now, Rwanda, nobody wants to touch it. I think France is trying to touch him now. I think Macron, because he's pretty damn corrupt. So he wants to work with Rwanda. And of course, they want to get some minerals, get some slaves, and do some mining, conflict, mineral, colonization, all of that great stuff. But for the most part, UN, America, South Africa, everyone pulled their ambassadors out of Rwanda. Why? Because everybody wants to rule the world. And if the model for the world, if those who lead the world have a model of corruption, death, destruction, rape, weapons, that's how you make a GDP, then what do you think they're going to do? They bring in the central banks. It's going to be the same thing. So in Rwanda, the president who's in control right now, he's full on corrupt. You can't say anything. They're disappearing journalists. They're killing people, shoving them in holes in the ground. They're being better. They're being a better America than Americans. They're being a better Britain than Britons. They're being taking psychopathy to a new level. To a new level. All right, let me get into the news. Let me see. We've been programmed to look out only for our own personal interests. We are needing to be a society that thinks about the person who has less than they do. We need to think about our neighbors, caring, sharing, sustainability. Thank you, Brother Anthony. That's it. And that is exactly what we need to do. And if we don't do it, we all gonna die. That's just, and I kind of love the model, Anthony. I love the model. I love the model because if we can't work together, we all gonna die together. And I think it's important that we all die together because in those last fleeting moments, when you see the lights over New York, we all get to die together. That's why, like I said, I'm avoid yesterday's topic. I don't want to go back to that. I'm just saying, if anybody comes to you and they try to give you pride in what you were born as, that person is trying to abuse you. They're trying to play you. I'm trying to tell you, I've dealt with it my whole life. Be an authentic you. Do you, and always get behind and back other people doing them. You do that, the world will right itself. It'll fix itself. We have nothing to do. That's, you know, so anyway, I'd sound like a broken record. I don't want to say it too much. I'm just simply say the world will go the way it's supposed to when people act how they should. All right, a couple things I want to show in the news. Let me see, where do we want to start? Where y'all want to start today? All right, so the lights in New York, they said Russians did that. So, all right, Russians, it wasn't, the Russians hacked the transformer and they did it. What was another funny thing that came out? The LinkedIn co-founder, he apologized to you because of the fake Russian accounts. Because not only did they have fake Russian accounts that was faking, because it probably wasn't Russia, it was people from Russia, or a guy from Russia, lady something, I don't know. It was really Seth Rich, by the way. But outside of that, the LinkedIn co-founder apologized because he funded fakers, people faking to be fake Russian accounts for the Democrats. So that was in the news. That was I found that to be highly interesting. Don't trust your kings nonsense. Let me see. We're supposed to be maintaining a presence in Iraq, which is a bad idea. President's telling us it's to prevent ISIS resurgence, which to me makes no sense. You want to prevent an ISIS resurgence, just close up your CIA. That's all you got to do. ISIS will go back to farming, you know, just close the CIA. It actually really is that simple. You don't really need to do anything. You just get rid of them. Let me see. Yes, Tunisia, right? That's where the journalist set himself on fire because he hates your world. He hates your corrupt crony world. We could look at the wasted spending. That was kind of interesting. Yeah, Rwanda, that was in the news. They were looking at, well, the French, they suspended their investigation because now they got the minerals. Now they got some sort of deal with their president where they got some slave minerals coming out. So now France is no longer investigating who shot down the airplane that caused 800,000 people to be murdered in a genocide. That's what I said. Slave minerals and slavery, it'll break a lot of ties. It'll make you a lot of sellouts. Let me see. Oh, this looks good. Cop fighting in New York. Cop fighting in New York. Who the cops fighting in New York? Why are they fighting in New York? Before I even watch it. I know why they fighting in New York. You know why the cops always fight? Because they're told to. They're told to by the politicians that you love. You have their bumper stickers and the politicians write the law. They break policing. And once policing is broke, people act a fool. They write laws. They make scarcity, make it artificial. People can't survive. And when that happens, people do dumb things. People like food. They like water. They like having a house. They like to pay the bills. And when they don't have that, they're going to act up against whoever's trying to control them. And then the politicians write in, that's for the police. But y'all going to blame the police. So, you know, let me show you. What is this? I know. People blame the police because it's easy. I don't blame the police. It's easy to blame police. It's easy to go after the little guy with no power. It's hard to go after the people who voted for the people in office who did all the laws. What is this? New York cop fights off drunk mob. Oh, good kick. How are they trying to fight the police anyway? All right, the friend trying to hold him back.
They did it.
Oh, they're drunk.
They did it.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on.
Oh, he's running.
Oh, Ramon! That was like B Street. Did y'all see that? Ramon found somebody. I'm sorry, that was my childhood. The B Street breakdown. Ah! So wait a minute. So all right. So interesting. First of all, I'm gonna spend a little time on this. Why would the police fight people in New York? Well, because people in New York are being starved by their government. Why? Their federal government and their state government. Why? Because it makes sense to. City government makes sense to be in a crony world. That's what government's supposed to do. If we support a crony world, we will have very upset people. We'll have people trying to survive and laws that ban them from surviving. They won't be able to grow their plants. They can't harvest their food. They don't have any land because the government stole all the land. So of course they get funneled to the cities, and that makes people really upset and angry. So I understand their anger. Makes you want to go out and drink. Why? Because that's an artificial high. That's what we do. We go out and we artificially high so we can deal with these lives, these monocultures that nobody can tolerate because we're stupid. So I appreciate that police officer. I do. He did the right thing. He did the right thing. I might have swung a little more if I was him, though. But understanding, he didn't pull his gun out. He didn't shoot anybody, right? He's not shocking anybody, but the guys are coming after him, and they're supposed to come after him. Why? Because they're poor, they're angry, and their society is crony. And why? What is he doing? He's doing his job. He's backing up. He's swinging. Hopefully he called for backup, the right backup, not the psychopath cops, but the ones who show up and actually want to help the citizens and just hit them in the arm with the billy stick. And that hurts, by the way. The billy stick is no joke. And then Ramon fell in the hole. Ramon fell. Hopefully the police officer helped Ramon get out. So this is what I'm saying. When I watch things, I don't pick a side. I don't pick teams and stuff. I'm not interested in teams. I look at something and I want to know the root cause. Root cause. Other people want to pick sides. Sides, again, when you fulfill the role that somebody else has given you, you're always going to get played. You're always being played. You're being played by the players. The Monopoly analogy. You're not going to beat Milton Bradley at Monopoly. It's not going to happen. So this is what I looked at this and I was like, you know what? That looks interesting. But I don't have to pick a side in it. Why do we have to pick sides? We can be French because we can't do the yellow vest yet, but we could be France. We could just not pick a side. They were known for not picking sides, right? That was the thing. They were always on the fence, was to be French. Is that racist? Am I allowed to say that? Is that countryist? I don't know. But we can be on the fence. We don't have to pick a side in anything. That's why I don't pick a side in your left, you're right, you're Democrat, you're Republican, you're Obama, you're Clinton, you're Trump. I don't pick any of the sides because I don't have to. America versus China, America versus Russia. I'm not any of those things. Those people don't know who I am. They don't know me. They don't know what I want. They don't know what makes me smile, what makes me cry. Why would I join any of their teams? Not interested. The white, black fight, whatever that is, anybody who's waging that fight, you can wage it all you want. Colonizer versus the colonized, everybody colonized. We're all the same people. We all become what our environments make us. We raise kids in this country to rage. And of course they're going to rage. We raise them up in hate and poverty. So I understand all sides of it. I just can't figure out why those who see it, pick a side and allow it to continue when we know we can build a better world. We know that we have better systems. We have better ways. We know that government, if it's done right, it slowly disappears over time. If it's done wrong, it gets bigger. If the laws work, you get less laws over time because the opposite of law is freedom. But if the law doesn't work, you have to build another Band-Aid. You got to write another law. And so now we got 500,000 laws because the governing model doesn't work. But you got people who are still fighting to keep it because they're emotional and dramatic. And I understand now. Ego kicks in. They think they are what somebody told them what they are. Did he stumble and fall, Kerry? I don't know. Maybe he stumbled and fell. That's why I don't, the whole policing thing, why don't you post videos of the police beating people up? Well, everybody posts these videos because what's the point? What's the point? I see a scam in it anyway. Again, it's not the police that need body cameras. It's the absolute root cause. It's the politicians that broke policing. You put body cameras on the politicians, you won't have any of these problems. I like root cause. And plus, I think they put the body cameras on the police anyway to show everybody what they already knew. We can, everybody knew the police was beating the hell out of Americans. Everybody knew this. This is not, they don't act like you're dumb. Now, they act like they're dumb on television. They act like they're dumb everywhere else. But if you know any poor people, you know the police beat them up because the police been beating people up since their inception. And it only gets worse because they write more laws because we got a broken system. And so they got to write more laws. And so police get more violent. And the police get more violent. Why? Because they put body cameras on them. So now you see it. So now you hate the police and you love your politicians. And it's a scam. And that's just how it works. It's how it works. They want to stay in power, and they stay in power by getting you to turn against the other poor people. Police aren't billionaires. A lot of them are psychopaths, just like us. But they're going to do their job like you do your job. So I don't pick a side. I don't pick no sides. If the system doesn't work, fix the system. If you can turn people against their police officers, their neighbors, somebody there to protect them, take their guns, turn them against the police, turn them against the NSA, turn them against the DHS, turn them against the FBI. They hate all of these groups. You can build an empire, because now the police have no choice. The citizens hate them. They have no choice. They can't stand down. They got to fight to defend themselves. In my experience, New York cops are good people. Eileen, in my experience, most cops are good people. Most cops, they're just police. They're doing their job. They aren't invested any less in slavery and our crony society based on murder and genocide and war than it's somebody carrying a briefcase going into the office. Eileen, most police officers I know, and the few that have been in my family, they were good people. They were doing a job, and the job is oppression. Because if you have 500,000 laws on the books, you can't get anything but oppression. You can't get anything but an angry populace. You can't get anything but conflict with a populace. But people don't like to focus on the root cause, because the root cause is too hard. It's that mirror. You don't want to do the root cause. It's that government. It's your politician. It's your political party. But you've been told that that's who you're supposed to be with. So you're with them. So things get worse. But like the brother said down earlier, we either realize that, we figure that out, and we do something different. We realize we can build a better world, and we build it, or we all just die. Awesome thought. Put body camera on politicians. Yeah, Brother Lee, I've been yelling and screaming at Brother Lee. I don't know if anybody's hearing me. They just determine the root cause of the problem and put no secrecy at that root cause so you can make a good decision. And that's why every time I do this and I try to figure out how the hell do we get out of this? It's always about no secrecy. So we know what the real problem is, and more people know what the real problem is. And then we can make a solution to actually fix it. But until we know what the problems are, we can't do anything about it. And we won't know what the problems are until the politicians have body cameras, or people who work for you that you can't trust, that are making decisions in your stead as your representatives, until you know who they're talking to, who's emailing, who's calling. And I guess some of y'all want to know where the dinglings is at and who they're sleeping with and everything. Until you know that, you can't make any good decisions. And that's why I don't blame presidents. Don't blame, because even the presidents and the politicians half the time, they're being lied to. And we might put the body cameras on them and find out that they don't even know. You mean to tell me they got 12 levels of classified secrecy and documents and departments over the US president that he doesn't even get to know about? Sometimes I think they put presidents in because they're dumb, because they can play them. You know, there are people who don't look at root cause solutions. They were handed a golden spoon their entire life, and they can be played real easy. Bush, and maybe the rest of them. Maybe they already know that they're going to sell everybody out. Maybe they give them partial information, like the people. I don't think you can be in a political party and have all the information. I don't. Because all the parties are lying. You know, so that's why I think everything is about no secrecy. You know, when you can't have deceit if there are no secrets. If governments don't have secrets, and police don't have secrets, and systems don't have secrets, people can have secrets. You can have your little Victoria secrets. I'm okay with that. You have it in your closet, you got some secrets, because Victoria can't hurt anybody. Not really, just one person, you know. But outside of Victoria, you can't have any secrets. You can't have any secrets outside of lingerie with the privacy of your own house. Because any system that has the power to destroy a planet, to kill an entire nation, to genocide and create a famine, start a war, how do you justify them having any secrecy? They can't. They can't. Like, in the way my mind works with like trust and secrecy, like, can you trust somebody that doesn't have secrets? Think about that for a minute. Would you marry somebody that had a lot of secrets? Would you have kids with somebody that has a lot of secrets? Would you go anywhere with anybody in their car? Somebody pulls up your house 2 o'clock in the morning. Who is that? John. Yo, John, hey, come get in the car. And you know, John got secrets, got a whole bunch of secrets. You never know where he goes, leaves, different times of the night, shows up with shady people in the car. Don't know what the hell's going on. Nah, John, I ain't getting in your car. Like, we good and everything, dog. Let's go get some coffee or something in the daylight. I ain't getting in no damn car with you. But then we take people who have secrets and put them in government. We trust the government that has secrets. How does that work in your brain? Because it doesn't work in mine. It doesn't work in mine. If you got secrets, I can't trust you. You having secrets tells me I'm not supposed to trust you. But we have a government with endless levels of secrecy. And then people will fight about the UFO over New York all day today, like whether or not it was a transformer, whether or not it was the Russians that hacked it, whether or not it was China, if it was a UFO, if it was direct energy weapons. And you get a populace that's like divided over things that nobody even knows is true. Think about that. What if you actually thought about your government as like a contract? Imagine that. Imagine if you thought about your government like a marital contract. Would you marry it? Damn sure you vote for it, you cheer it, rock stars, yell and scream, you send money. I know people who lost houses sending money to the Bernie campaign. Would you send a house to a person on the internet? Would you marry some? Like the things we do for government, isn't it like a little bit insane? Is a little bit trudging on mental illness? I don't know. So to me, trust is huge. It's huge. And if I don't get to know the details, and you got a lot of secrecy, I'm gonna have to, I keep you out at a distance. It's like, so with me and government and America and all of that stuff, I keep everything at a distance. Political party, y'all got secrets. You got secrets. I don't know. I can't, because to me, it tells me you're trying to play me. You're trying to abuse me. So you got all these parents who are being played by all of these politics. All these politicians is only giving them partial information, and they're teaching their kids to get played too. How insane is that? I think if secrecy continues to exist, I think we all die. I don't think there's any way to get out of it. That's how I see it. If governments and corporations will continue to have secrets and they have the ability to destroy the entire planet, to change the climate, to use these weapons to wage war now with Blackwater in different countries, the whole earth is going to die. Like that's our options. I think are no more secrets. Tell us what the hell is on our head, and if y'all found that device, if it's a time travel device, I don't know what the hell it is. You know, if you actually don't have secrets, then we can make good decisions. Like the earlier example, in terms of us being a collection of computers, all different CPUs with their own databases, all people with their own experiences. If we actually have access to all the data and the data is not a lie, we can make some good decisions. If we actually don't know what's going on in the world and our nation always lies to us, our government writes propaganda acts to make it legal to actually lie to you, and we know that all the wars that we've ever been in, we've always been lied into, how would you still believe? I don't know how your head works, but that's how my head works. The alien overlord, I guess he knows the dude. Oh, no, this isn't the dude. Gown, this is the lady. This is Lady Elchie. You're late, brother. You're out there in the fields working. It's the Lady Elchie. Nobody knows what's on her head. And so they speculate. They thought it was hair. They thought it was flowers and roses and all these different things. They thought it was just a ceremonial headdress. And the women I know, I don't know one woman who would put that damn thing on her head. To me, it syncs up with the stories from Thoth about Atlantis. It syncs up with the accounts of Solomon and the Egyptians. It syncs up with the Egyptian temple that told the stories of Atlantis. All over this planet, they had stories of these ancient people with this technology we couldn't understand. And I think part of the reason that they keep everybody in conflict all over the world over wars and religion and race and anything stupid they can come up with that people actually believe and will fight with their other poor neighbor over, it's because that there's a breakaway civilization that we don't really know about. They always have some technology they're not telling us, and that's why you have all these classified and top secret levels, because they don't want you to know the technology exists, and they don't want you to know what they're doing with it. You know, some people say it comes from another dimension. Some people say these things were aliens. Some people say humans in the future coming back. I can't answer that question. I don't know anything about that. I do know that there are breakaway civilizations, and they're all over this world. Talked about that yesterday. The stealth fighter, that was a breakaway military, right? They had the stealth fighter for how many years before they told us? A couple decades before our military even found out. So you had a breakaway military within the military, and I don't think secrecy is a good idea. I think when everybody's honest, you can have a democracy. When all the information is known, you can't have a real democracy. But if there's an embargo on the truth, you'll always make a bad decision. Every time you pull that lever to vote, every time you post that picture of a politician. Every time you get behind a project, it's always going to be a bad idea because you didn't have all the information. Gotta have truth. Anyone on MSM, they got too many to keep track of. I don't watch MSN. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch any of it. I don't watch any American news because they lie too much. I watch RT and they're lying more every day. I'm watching them. I watch Al Jazeera and they're lying more every day too. You know, but you can see their lies. You can see where they're trying to skew things in certain ways. But my news, I don't know that it's really gonna infect me the way I'm supposed to. So I watch the international news. So I don't know anything about MSN. I know my family, they love the Washington Post, and every time I go home, they're just gaslit as the day is long. I just go home. I have fun with them though. Sometimes I say stuff. I get tired. I go home. I just want to eat. It's the holidays. I go home. They want to get into a discussion. I'm just like, no, Trump isn't the bad guy. He's just a guy. He's a side effect. I'll just say things like, yeah, Trump, I made Trump. I made him. He's mine. He's my creation. What are you talking about? Well, it's my society. I voted the way that I did in the past. I support the things I do. I like and subscribe to things. I pay my taxes. I do my thing. I made the Trump. Every Trump on this planet, I made. Every white nationalist, I made. Every poor person in the ghetto, I made. All the kids in the basements, chained up, being tortured, I helped put there. I didn't write the crime bill, but damn sure was I voting and cheering for the people, the black people and white folks who did. That's why I was irked at y'all's damn military, your prison industrial complex the other day. I had a great conversation. Good brother of mine. Spent a couple hours with him talking about some of his stories, being incarcerated, solitary confinement for children. You know, I go home and Trump's putting people in cages. I'm like, y'all know that I've been a children's rights activist pretty much my entire life. They've been putting kids in cages since the beginning, very long time. We have kids in cages all day long in this country. 17, 18, 19, 20 years old in solitary confinement, chained up in the basements, being tortured by correctional officers. Some of the stories he told me, it's so hard to believe that this is who we are. So that's why I don't do the size. We either build a bigger world that works for everybody, or we all gonna die, and we can't have any secrets. Peace, everyone. Enjoy your day. All right, Carrie. Old activists used to march and protest with me. Most job applications inquire if the potential employee has clearance, and if so, what level. Yeah, Rebecca, because that's who we are. We're going into this military industrial world. Our GDP is based on it. And if our GDP is based on death and destruction, then yeah, they want to know what level of clearance are you allowed to know? How much truth are you allowed to know? So you'll do your job apathetically. You'll do your job with indifference. You'll show up with your laptop. You'll show up with your smartphone. And you'll support mass incarceration. You'll support all the things we know that we're greater than. We need to think about these things, people. We need to think about these things because it's not an American discussion. You know, it is a worldwide discussion of, do we want nations to continue to compete to be a better psychopathic model of death and destruction than another? Human beings, we are phenomenal machines. Phenomenal. I think they found that out in that study, giving the cocaine to the birds. I have to look at that. I don't know anything about that. I gotta look at that. I'm sorry. We're phenomenal creatures. We become wonderful at everything we do. Everything we do, we become wonderful. Do we really want to continue with this model of who can be the best psychopathic nation? It's up to us. Hey, Angela, I love you too, sis. All right, good morning, Maha. All right, I'm gonna take a look at this. Got a little heavy for a little bit. The 2018 Festivus Report. Best way to spend taxpayers' money. The Festivus Waste Report. Sex habits of quails on
I bet
cocaine.
the researchers used the cocaine on themselves and not the birds.
To study donkeys hunting in ancient Turkey. $361,000. Growing leaf blowers and lizards. $75,000. This is why I don't take them seriously. I don't take none of y'all. Daydreaming. Oh, let me stop there. $2 million on daydreaming. What the hell?
What's the daydreaming? Who the hell has time to daydream? Between work, education, family, and breathing, I barely get a chance to eat. I want to know who the IF comes up with this crap. Oh my god, I'm dead.
I tell you who comes up with the crap, the people who can print the money who don't give two damns. That's why. I laugh at the spending. I'm okay with it. They print the money. Did I say they print the money today? I didn't say they print the money today. Did I say that? They print the money. They literally print the money and give you none. None of it. None of it. They print the money. They lie to you about what they want to do to fix your country, and they don't give you the money to fix the country. And they don't take the money to fix the country. They print the money and they go murder people with the money. So anyway, they don't care nothing about the money. But I think it's interesting. Daydreaming, I think, is important. I like daydreaming. I think that's what the human race should be doing. I think that's your job. I think your job is to sit there and daydream and think about the ancients and think about technology and solve problems with your brain. Because that's the only thing the computer can't beat us in yet, right? Is we have the ability to reconstruct neurons in a different way, to have different thinking patterns. And that's why when kids are born and you challenge them with mathematics or art or something early, their brain rewires itself so that it thinks better that way. It thinks better with those tools. Our brains are problem-solving devices. We are not accountants. We are not good lawyers. We are not good mechanics. We are not good home builders. We are not good, what else y'all do? Programmers. We're not good developers. We're not good, none of that. All of that crap that y'all do that we need the jobs. No, you don't. You're bad at them. You suck. You know, I don't know what to tell you. We do one thing better than robots and automation and software, is we can change how we think. Thought. That is the greatest human job, right? We can mimic ourselves. We can raise kids to think even better than we do. That's the job that y'all need to be doing. You need to stop fighting for jobs and start fighting for a system where human beings can just raise their children and think. Because look, oh, and it connects to this. I don't want to see no more of the waste report. Look at this, because it connects to her. It connects to the lady of, what is her name? Elchie Delicious. Because if they had a sync between their technology and crystals and rocks and stones and scepters, and they had an understanding of those things and vibration and sound, and they could build megalithic structures, but they didn't have the technology. They didn't have the laptops. They didn't have the damn drones we use to murder people. Imagine if we evolved down the pathway. Imagine if we rediscover some of the things they do. Imagine if we studied LSD a little more. Imagine if we studied the psilocybin mushrooms a bit more. Imagine if we studied more of what they do to the brain instead of banning them. Imagine if we merged our technology with a higher level of conscience. Imagine what we become. Now you can send me down a path of why they ban LSD, why they ban psychedelic drugs. Because if you can keep people in secrecy and keep sending them down just the technology, the hardware path of evolution, not the conscious one that our ancestors did, then it means you as a nation, or you as a banker, because I don't think nations run anything, you as a Rothschild or Rockefeller, you as a breakaway civilization can have the best of both worlds. You convince people that the hippies are crazy. You convince people that the ancients are dumb monkeys with grass skirts and pagans. And so you don't evolve consciously. And you think it's ridiculous anytime somebody thinks of it. So when you see the Lady of Welchie, you can't even fathom that this sort of device is expanding thought. That is some sort of an energy device, perhaps, that allows her to astrally project, or time travel, or alter matter, or pick up a large stone to concentrate energy and thought and vibration to move a block and build a pyramid. It sounds crazy to you, and I'm gonna tell you who it sounds crazy to. Closed-minded people. That's who it sounds crazy to. If that sounds nuts to you, you need to think a little bit more. You need to spend a little more time in science. You do need to look at quantum physics and entanglement, the experiments, right? You need to look more at religion. You need to look more at how we change things at the atomic level just by thinking about them. You know, to me, it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch at all. It's just something that I don't understand. I don't understand. But when you start to think down these pathways of the impossible actually is possible, it means you've been lied to and you believe the lies. And that's why I say every day, I don't believe anymore. I don't believe. I believe you're as dumb as I am. I believe my government might be dumber than I am. I don't believe. Teach our children to grow food. Angela, we got to teach our children to grow food. We got to teach our children to be strong again. We have to be an upgrade. We got to make them an upgrade of us, and we got to be an upgrade of the last generation. We got to get rid of this idea that children got to pay cover charges to be born on earth and live on earth. It's stupid. We got to let it go. Being alive is a right of every creature on this planet but the human being. And to keep this model, we don't deserve to exist. To keep a monetary system, to keep money, because if it's at the base of it, all of this is about money. It's about power. And the best way to get power is money. To keep those things around, we're crazy. That's why I laugh. Angela, I got upset the other day. I was laughing at Wall Street. Wall Street tanked and it bounced right back up. But it tanked and I was like cheering. I'm like laughing at people like, why are you cheering Wall Street? That's our GDP. We got to compete with the Russians. We got to compete. We got to do better. It's jobs and the corporations do better. We do better. You know all I heard, Angela? All I heard was the slave plantation. If massa ain't doing good, we's not doing good neither. We's massa. Because what they used to do to the slaves is they would give them a slave mind. They convinced them that the master was a part of them, that the plantation was them, that they were the arm of the plantation, that they were, and they couldn't disassociate themselves from their masters. And so the slaves, and when anytime the master got hurt, you know what the slave would say? Master, is we hurt? We fell off the cart. He ain't fall off the cart. The master fell off the cart. But is we hurt? We's got to get taken care of. Go find Miss Bessie. Hell yeah, I'm glad Wall Street tanked. And I hope it dies and burns in hell. I don't like money. Christ didn't like money. I don't like money neither. I know you can teach your prosperity all you want. To me, it just means you don't read scripture, right? You prosperity teachers. Nah, you read your Bible. Explain to you. Hell no. You're not supposed to have money. You're not supposed to be cheering the money changers. Because that actually is what's happening. It's people are cheering the money change. I hope Wall Street dies and burns in hell. Because it's evil. All of it's based in evil. All of it's based in destruction of this planet, climate change. Like imagine, like think about this. Are you scared of climate change? I'm not scared of climate change. I'm not. I think the climate's always changed. I think it's funny. You know why I think it's funny? Because most big corporations, if anybody's changing climates, are them. They're destroying the ecosystems. All of them. The ones you work for. And if it's not directly the one you work for, outside of the fact that all corporations are not profitable based on the destruction they do to the environment, the negative externalities that they have, they trade and do B2B, business to business, with corporations that do. So I think it's actually rather hilarious that people actually say Trump doesn't believe in climate change. The Republicans don't believe in climate change. But you work for corporations changing the climate. You got a 401k. You got mutual funds vested in destroying the climate. That's why to me, that's why I'm just an observer. I just kind of sit back. I'm like Maverick on Top Gun. Hey, Maverick, get in the fight. Maverick, you got it. I'm not getting in that fight. Nope, that's not a fight. There ain't no fight. There ain't no fight there. That's just die. That's us dying. I'm not getting in the us dying game. You can be there if you want to. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna sit here and watch. If I'm gonna die, if we all gonna die because we all want to be stupid and be tribal, I'm gonna have fun before I die. I'm gonna grow a bunch of plants. I'm a gardener. Man, I'm growing jackfruit this year. Shoot, I got growing this year. I got all kind of citrus growing this year. I got rambutan. I got my figs. I got apples. I got peaches. I bring most of my plants in. I grow them in pots and tomatoes and peppers. I enjoy them. I hang out with my plants. My bedroom's like a jungle, got all kind of plants everywhere. I'm living the life I want to live. I don't work for big corporations. I use money, unfortunately, and I have a bank account, so I'm still supporting slavery and mass destruction, but I don't invest in Wall Street. I don't have a 401k. I don't have mutual funds. Why? Because I think the cotton gin is a bad idea. I think slavery is a bad idea. I live very modestly. I do my best. I used to be greedy. I grew up in a family that had a little money, went to college, got my degree, worked for big corporations. And then one day I realized I was working for the most evil people on the planet. And I have no right looking back at any slaver in history and judging them. And I live on slavery today. I live on the GDP and Wall Street and slavery today. I have no right judging them. And so I started changing my life. I come on here and I'll talk, but talk is cheap. That's why every day when I press the button, I'm done poking my finger in slavery's eye, and poking my finger in mass incarceration's eye, and poking my finger in y'all, all these unconstitutional laws, poking my finger in your fake lying democracy, poking my finger in your Democrats and your Republicans. As I get done poking my finger in your eye, get you wet with it, stick it in your ear, I go live my life. I go do fun things. I enjoy my life. I learned how to make solar panels, and we made wind turbines, and we made mass rocket heaters, and we've done all these things. My kids and I live my life. Because if we're gonna die being stupid and tribal, fighting the white man. Well, actually, no, I take that back. But yes, one white man. I did, but that is right. They're right with that one. They fight all the white men. They're supposed to fight all the white men. They're your brothers. The white men, they done dealt with a lot of crap you dealt with. They done grew up in the same impoverished families, most of them. All right? So stop with that nonsense. This is one white man supposed to fight. His name is John D. Rockefeller. Devil Bill is supposed to fight him. Fight his system. Can't fight him. He's gone now. But you got to fight his system. His system of conflict, of making you stupid, and getting you to fight some other stupid people, and you're all poor. You know, fight somebody that has the thing that you want, right? Like if you want the system, if you want the money and you want it to like work for everybody, fight the people who actually made the system. Like I get into these discussions and I don't understand, like, why do people want to fight whiteness? Same reason people want to fight blackness. Because one, you think they exist, and number two, all right, think about it like this. I grew up on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. And I would sit there and you would watch the police take away drug dealer after drug dealer after drug dealer after drug dealer. Remember y'all the three-stripe Adidas suits, K-Swiss? They come there, get this guy, take him, and by the time they get him in the paddy wagon, his friend is already ready to go. Got it in his shoes, got it in his boots, ready to sell and take over the corner. And they take him and they throw him in prison. And the next one could step up. And the next one step up. Throw him in prison, two of them step up. That's called a model. Model. Why? Because you're not going after who's creating the problem. You're going after what you see. And as long after you keep going after what you see instead of where it's being manufactured, you'll never win. You're just a part of the system. You're a part of the sustainable hate system. If you're fighting whiteness or you're fighting blackness, you are a part of this. You are the perpetuator. You are keeping this nonsense, this hate-based society rolling. And you don't even see it. You don't even realize that. You don't realize that you got to go after the manufacturer. That's like going to Toys R Us and trying to kill all the action figures. You know how stupid that's? You can go steal all of it. Go to Toys R Us, steal all the action figures. Dummy, Toys R Us don't make the action figures. Y'all know Mattel make them, right? You can steal all this one. I'm gonna get all the G.I. Joe action figures. You go to the next city, steal all the ones, and all the Toys R Us is over there, and steal all the ones. And by the time you steal the ones in the next one, you know what just happened? A truck showed up from Mattel with the next load of action figures. Why in the world would you fight the action figure instead of Mattel? If you really see, and this is the issue, and I know it's a hard thing for a lot of people to swallow. It was a hard thing for me to swallow, you know, and it's the fact that the people that we placed our trust in, we never could have trusted. We never should have trusted, right? Because you always have people who just want to be higher up on the plantation, and they know what you're emotional about. You know, the same reason that you get people fighting for blackness is the same reason you get people fighting for whiteness. Because there's somebody a little higher up selling out. Who's going to sell them? Sell them all out. Because he wants to be higher in this system that's based on people who have everything in common, conflicting over about what neither has. It's crazy. That's why I think we got to look back. We came from a wiser people. Oh, another thing I was going to say about the Lady Etchy. Look at her nose. Look at her nose. People can get upset with this one. Oh, y'all about to be mad. Look at her nose. What her nose look like? Look at her lips. You know how old she is? She go way back. That's why I laugh at it, because, you know, if we did come from Atlantis, she was Atlantean, and all those ancients weren't lying. You know, the Mayans said it too, that we didn't build these structures, that the Atlanteans did. They lived in Atlantis somewhere. Because when Atlantis sunk, that everybody supposedly spread and they all went to go start communities all over this planet. Some went to Egypt, some went to South America, some went different places, and they started building the megalithic structures. Her nose doesn't look like she came from South Africa, does it? Which is okay, and I laugh about it. To me, it's funny. I mean, North Africans have nose like that, Nubians, whatever. But to me, you know, we're all related. It doesn't matter. Like, if you affiliate yourself with somebody that has a nose that's wide or skinny, lips that are thick or not, skin that's dark or not, eyes that are green or not, hair that's blonde or black or whatever, you're not getting it. You're not getting that we all come from the same people, and it doesn't matter what the hell they look like. It only matters what you think like. Because they always use it to divide you. That's all. That's all. So the Atlanteans left from wherever Atlantis was, spent time in North Africa. I think it was in North Africa. I think it was the Richard structure, because it makes sense. It's the only thing, the theory that makes any sense. And before that, where'd they come from? Who knows? Anunnaki, brought here, God, Jesus, Garden of Eden, whatever. I don't know. Who knows? We can fight about not knowing, or we can just go on what we know. We're all related. We can build a better world. We can figure out who we came from, what the people are like, what they ate for breakfast, or we can continue to fight each other until we all die. Hey, Gerard, have you read Michael Pollan's new book, How to Change Your Mind? No, I haven't. It's on my list. Hey, hun, I read his other books. I love Michael Pollan, which was interesting that he jumped over there. He studied the food industry for what, like 11 years. One of his most famous books was, what is it called? Something about food. I forgot the name of it. It was a booklet. It wasn't even a book. Food Rules, right? Food Rules. That was one of the most important ones. The Food Rules, right? It kind of explained how to eat, what to eat. If you have not read Food Rules, you need to read Food Rules. Why? Because weak people can't do anything. Weak people who need the drugs and the pharmaceuticals and the fake highs and the beer on Thursday and Friday and Saturday to cope with life and fight with cops in New York. People who need that are not strong people. We get nowhere if we're weak. And if we don't know what our food is, we aren't getting anywhere. So if you haven't read Food Rules, you need to read it. If you haven't read The Omnivore's Dilemma, you need to read it. So hey, hon, yeah, it's on my list. I haven't had as much reading time as I've had. I wish I had more. White, somebody just said something. It just passed up. All right, let me read some comments. And heroin dealers as well. Yep, Daniel, heroin, crack, cocaine, marijuana, all of it. All of it is just a sustainable system. They never want to get rid of the drugs. They want to make an industry out of the problem. That's why I always go back to neoliberalism. And I'm just like, people, if the people you are behind are neo-lib anything, run. All of it is, it's a model of taking capitalism, which is funny to me because the neoliberals fight capitalism. They don't understand that neoliberalism is based in getting corporations to not solve problems that people complain about. It literally is. They take a problem people are complaining about and they give it to a corporation and make it an industry. And what corporation is going to put themselves out of business? It's just that simple. And that's why the war on cancer made more cancer. The war on drugs made more drugs. The war on terrorism made more terror. the war on the streets, and what did they call it? What did Hillary Clinton say? We got to get the super predators off the street. It made more of them. Right? That's why when you made welfare, you made more people require welfare. When you do the Welfare Reform Act, anytime you make an industry out of things, it happens. Child abuse, you made an industry. Domestic violence, they made into an industry. They wrote the Violence Against Women's Act. All of these laws they wrote, they increased the problem, because that's what neoliberalism is. It's called corporate rule. It's called taking a problem and giving it to an industry to solve, not knowing the hell of what an industry is for. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy times. That's why I don't do politics. Because it makes no sense whatsoever. And it's like, and they fight capitalism. It's so funny. I got neo-lib friends and like, we gotta stop capitalism, stop capitalism. I'm like, do you even know who you are? Not from an ancient Atlantean perspective, but do you even know who a neoliberal is? They are the crony capitalism. The capitalist people, they are like angels compared to neoliberals. The people who believe in capitalism, they're wonderful people, right? Because when you have real capitalism, which you won't have ever, by the way, you'll never have it, never have it. The world is crony. You'll never get real capitalism. Never had it, never going to get it. Free market capitalism will never happen. But when you have it, the price of everything goes down. As efficiencies occur in the markets, the price of everything goes down. As more people can engage and poor people make things, it means the price of a cup will be 1 cent eventually. Why? Because the smartest person who can make a cup down to 1 cent, he'll make it down to 1 cent. We've never had that. The price of everything goes up. That's how you know we don't have capitalism. But the capitalist people, they're angels compared to the people fighting capitalism, the neoliberals, because they're crony capitalists. Think about the insanity of that. Just process that for a minute. The crony capitalisms folks are complaining about all right. Exactly, Lori. Politics is just a way of fighting. That's all it is. They don't care about what you fight about. They just want you fighting. Who said that? Tony Blair. He said democracy is the hardest form of government to run. And I'm a mess of quote up, but he basically said that the only way to have any power in a democracy is to keep the people fighting. Doesn't matter what they fight about, but they got to fight. They can fight about religion or race or capitalism or Trump's penis or Clinton's penis or whoever, the genderism. They can fight about anything they want. As long as they're fighting, you can take power from them. He said because as a government, you want to do good things. And if the government in a democracy has no power. So the only way you get power is you got to take it from the people. And the only way you take it from them is you get this side of the dummies to fight with that side of the dummies. And as long as the dummies are fighting, this side will agree with that. And so it's just basically it's like, what is that called? A seesaw, where you're just going back and forth, where you're getting more rights, more rights, more rights. Government gets bigger, 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 cronier, 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 to a point where people, they don't even fight about anything that's even based in anything. Not even based in anything. Food rules. I've read that one over and over. Great book. Yeah, hey, hon, it's a phenomenal book. You guys, if you aren't growing a garden, I know I say it sounds hippie-ish and cliche. I'm trying to tell you, I got into a great discussion with a brother yesterday. You need to get strong. A lot of people see what's coming. If you don't see what's coming, I don't know what to tell you. And it's not about you. I got a lot of friends who are like, you know what, if the apocalypse is coming, I'm okay with the apocalypse. I don't want to live during it anyway. I just want to die early. It's not about you. It's not about you. Think beyond yourself. If we know bad times always come, if we know currencies always collapse, if we know that disasters always happen, don't we have an obligation to the children to make sure that we prepare them for it? How selfish is that? Oh, the apocalypse comes, I just want to die. How selfish is that? You had kids on this planet that got to pay a cover charge. And we know there's always something better. And the government's always hide it. Why? Because the kings always hid it. The lords always hid it. That's where they get their power from, by making you weak. Getting you to eat GMO. Getting you to eat out of grocery stores. Telling you that, oh, you don't have to grow food no more. We got your food covered. We got industry and infrastructure for that. Don't even worry about that. That's it. Your grandparents are crazy. They're nuts. Your parents teaching you that you need to farm something, need to have a little land. Those people are crazy. Government got your back. People you can't trust. People who have secrets. Oh, we got your back. Don't worry. We find the Atlanteans' technology. We're going to share it with you. Never trust people that don't tell you the truth. If you don't know everything, they're not people you can trust. Don't marry people after you. Edward Bernays, thank you. Thank you, Wanda Lee. If y'all have not clicked on that link, I haven't read it, but everything Edward Bernays is awesome. Or I haven't watched it. Everything Edward Bernays is off the hook. He made you. The Sigmund Freud, he was Sigmund Freud's nephew. The way that they've orchestrated your society, and the Tavistock Institute is another one, by the way. I wanted to mention that one. They made you. They made you who you are. They're the ones who told you bacon and eggs is a part of a hearty breakfast. They're the ones that helped design this country, you know. And in fact, I think we have a friend. We actually have I think Edward Bernays' niece is on here somewhere. She said, yeah, that's right. You know, I think it's his niece or somebody who knew him. I forgot. But not that he was a bad guy. It's just that Devil Bill came along and abused his kids. They grew up as Rockefellers and they were made psychopaths. And so they made a world based on force and violence. And they did it so well that America, and France, and Britain, and everybody else built up and competing in it. And they gave you your fight. And if you're fighting the fight that John D. Rockefeller gave you, you're not fighting for your pride, because they gave you your pride in a fantasy concept. You're just fighting against the next generation. You're just fighting against the human race. All right. Welcome me back. Having coffee. Oh, you came back? Thank you, Carrie, but I'm about to go, girl. It's getting late. I got to pick my cotton. I ain't on vacation. I'd have a vacation if I still work for the slave companies, but I don't want to work for the slave companies. I don't like being a sellout. Oh, one thing I do want to show before I go, and I didn't even see this. I did want to show this. What is this? This is, I just clicked on it. The 26 most powerful images from 2018. We are. It's our GDP. It's kind of sad. Wow. Willing to go out and I don't know how these pictures are going to be. They might try to glorify being in the military. I'm not interested in that. But the idea that you would crawl out in the bush and got snakes, that poisonous or not, willing to die for oil companies dealing with poisonous snakes. My God, that shouldn't exist. I don't even know what's happening in that picture. You making devices to murder people. This actually is kind of a sad one. Now I'm just looking at them. I don't know what that is. That's not a picture from the military. What's that, advertisement? See, these are not pictures that I don't hear. You know, when I was a kid, if I looked at these pictures, I would hear, "Born in the USA." That's what I'd hear in my head. I'd hear, "We are the world." I'd hear that. I don't hear that anymore. I've read a little too much to a point where I only see death and destruction and murdering cousins all over the planet. I don't see patriotism. I see poor kids who are lied to about who they were killing, and they lied to about why they were killing. Actually, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that we're still doing this. It's pretty sad that we let them glorify this to our children, and our children sign up. And they don't know any better. But we know better. We make it cool. We let them make it cool. We let them ride around in Humvees playing rock and roll. That's why when people say they don't want to stand for the pledge, I get it. I get what they're saying. You don't build a better world by murdering people. You don't build a better world. You don't build a better family by murdering parts of your family that you don't agree with. It's how you destroy a world. They glorify it. They glorify it. Oh, wow. Because this is who we want to be. This is what we want to raise our children to be. This is what we want to glorify. Drinking snake blood. Killing people. That's why I say your presidents and your prime ministers, they are just drug dealers on the corner. They aren't even anywhere near to the top 200 real significant problems on this planet. Try to focus, people. If we can't focus on priorities, we won't ever fix anything. We won't ever fix anything. Let me get the rest of the pictures. I used to look at that when I was a kid. I wanted to be in the Air Force. I was like, man, that's so wonderful. Like, that's amazing. I'd have loved those F-35 Raptors. That's why I don't blame the order followers. I see the casings. I see something different now. I don't see fighting for democracy and freedom. I see kids that we let our government brainwash. Kids who will never be right. We can fix the world anytime we want. Who is that? The blue? That's not the Blue Angels. That's the F-16s. That's not Blue Angels. What are they called? For the air shows all the time. The F-16s. I forgot. I'm glad I forgot the name. It was the flight team. They go to the air shows and they fly around and do all the aerial stunts and get all excited. And America, America. And we had no idea we were actually probably just cheering for the Rothschilds. It's rather insane. It's about people wanting to belong. I'm sorry to hear that, Nora, and I think you're right. I think you hit it. I think you hit it. It is. It's about people wanting to belong. That's why they get pulled in. I'm scared to say it's all based in fear. You don't need to belong. You already belong. You already belong. You belong to a great people that very few of us have any insight at all to. You were born belonging to something. I appreciate that, Nora. I gotta think about that. Because that really is what it's about. It's about fear. If I'm not with my clan, if I'm not with my group, they might hurt me. I might not get my way. I might not have my interests represented. You were born belonging. But at birth, they somehow convince you that you didn't belong. And so you're willing to hurt other people who all have the same plight as you. Because you want to belong. And it's sad. It's sad. Oh, how easy it would be to be triumphant over it. Because you live in a time where you can actually see that you are being played. I'm doing my part. My daughter wants to be a cop, and I never want any of my children as Massa's dog. I'm doing my part, but my daughter wants to be a cop. It would be interesting, Maha, if we actually went back to police, actually, all of them, policing, you know, defending people against their government, defending people against the evils. But we let the evil write the laws for what the police do. You get approval and love when you comply. Yeah, you do, Nora. And when you don't comply, you get censored, you get banned, you get hate mail, you get dingling pics, you get all this anger from people who want to belong, and once you realize that you belong to something greater. That's the world we live in. It's the world we live in. Maha, yeah, the people will, I won't say that they'll kill her, but they'll certainly try. They'll definitely brainwash her. They'll make her a part of a team. And the team will respond as the gang. And gangs will do what gangs always do, whether it's the Bloods, the Crips, the police, blackness, whiteness, Americanness, Democratness, Republicanness. It's what gangs do. Gangs will stand for each other and they will kill everybody else when it comes down to it. That's why when you don't have any gangs, you don't have any conflict. That's why I'm not a believer in these fantasy identities, because when they exist, you'll always fight. Anyway, there's a lady of Elche. If you guys know anything about her, I'd appreciate you letting me tell me your thoughts. We come from great people. We serve on a great planet, but we need to serve the right thing. And we've been serving corporations and kings and lords for too long. Gerard, y'all have a wonderful weekend. I love y'all. I'm out.